we'll roll.
Hayes, what you got for me?
Durag Diaries! Yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a Let's Talk Football. It feels like forever. It probably has been forever since me and E have just, loaded up a stream, talk some rubbish. It got to a point where it was like weekly or probably more than like 2 or 3 times a week at some points. But it's been a while, man. And me and E were like, yo, we need to run something up. There's been a lot going on in Tottenham these past couple of days. A busy January transfer window. Not just for players, just transfers going on above board as well. But yeah, look, I thought it was a good time to spark up a stream. It's been a couple of days. But how is everyone doing? Big up to everyone in the chat. We can hear you in the background. What do you mean, Mr. Uday?
Maybe it was for the 10-second countdown thing. Maybe it was.
Oh, yeah. You probably could have heard us. That's fine. Is what it is. But yeah, man, look, E's here. What's good? Co-host at this point.
Pretty much, bro. I can't like. To be fair, yeah, both of us have slowed down on content, so we're still co-hosts, even though it's been like the first time in like what, a month or two, bro, something like that. But I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. I'm glad to be back. You know what I'm saying? We've taken some little breaks here and there, but yeah, we got to start running up some more. I need to be a bit more available, but working it, like we're working men. We got priorities, so it is what it is. You know, just
big facts, bro. People just don't even realize that work is just been hitting man hard these past couple weeks, especially New Year. I think it is with New Year's as well. People have, like, New Year's like a fresh start, innit? You got like a new like chance to just, all right, this year's gonna be better than last and all these things. Then you start patterning up on other things, and you start to forget about it, streaming and stuff, because people don't realize streaming takes a lot of time, man. It takes a lot of time out of the day, even to set up a stream, to go and do the research for some streams sometimes, and then shouting people. It's like it's another job in itself, innit? So that's all it has been, man. People have just been taking step backs. I know people are saying Spurs are shit, you're hiding. Yeah, that does have some part to play in it too. We're not gonna lie. Like, we don't have the energy to come home and speak Spurs after we've lost 3 games in a row and we've had a long day at work. Like, I don't have the energy. I don't know about E, but I'm not coming home after a long day and thinking, all right, let me come on stream, I've got bare things to moan about. That's not my steez.
There's a reason why I'm still in my work clothes. If I change into my normal clothes, yeah, I'm not going on live and talking about. I'm not. This is still work for me. This is just an extension of work. If I get changed, yeah, I'm not getting on stream, so I have to just stay in the work clothes. I took the tie off. You know what I'm saying? Like, the tie is off, but that's about it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I hear it. I'm still got my shoes on here as well. I'm still man's in the. I got the smart sweaters on.
I still got my shoes on, cuz you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I ain't even taken the shoes off yet, man. I'm still in work mode, fam. So it just.
I got them size 12 kickers on, fam. He's trying to boot someone. Hey, it might be Thomas Frank that's getting that.
I'm just saying, bro. We're Team Mints out here. No more chewing gum, bro. We're team breath mints out here, man. We ain't fucking with that chewing gum, bro.
Our team needs a breath of fresh air. That extra gum is needed for real. But do you know what? Let's start there, because there have been some changes. January transfer window, we all know, biggest news. We've had that man coming through the door, central midfielder Gallagher, over from Atletico Madrid. 40 million euros the fee was. What's your thoughts? We ain't actually spoke about it, so it's
true. Yeah, we haven't. I mean, I talked about it a bit on stream, and to be fair, I got some other people's opinions as well. But I mean, I'm okay with it. Like, it's not a signing I'm gonna be like jumping for joy over, but it's one step of the process. Now, like, if the January window ends, yeah, and we don't get another midfielder, then I'm like, all right, bro, this is some like not useless but pointless. You know, because obviously, like, there's some intangibles he brings in it, like the experience and all that. But in terms of just profile alone, now you can argue quality, sure, but profile alone, bro, he is God save the king, Pap Sarr, bro. Like, You know what I'm saying? Like that's the quality. You can argue the quality, sure, but profile. Come on, bro. Like what we do, it's the exact same thing, bro. Someone who can carry the ball a bit. It doesn't pass forward that often. You know what I'm saying? Can put in a little bit of effort in attack and defense. An athlete doesn't get injured. You know, it just, but at the end of the day, there's still an obvious profile of midfielder we're missing. And to be fair, Gallagher's a now signing, isn't it? Like he's someone for right now. And if we're being fair, Pap Sarr's not someone who's consistently good enough to get any real like proper minutes and all that. So if you want someone of his profile that's like good now and can play right now, then yeah, Gallagher's not the worst signing. You know, homegrown, 40 million's not too much. You know, so like it's good, but we also need we know the midfielder we need. It's a different profile to Gallagher, but overall it's okay. Like it's calm. It's not a bad signing. It's just all right.
Yeah, I hear it. Like you, I think at first I was very negative on the signing. Very I just really wasn't for it. Not my type of player. You know, I will say that he has, like you say, he's got some of the abilities that you need in a team. Every team needs a player like him, someone who brings a consistent level of performance. He isn't the greatest. He's not the worst. You probably know you're going to get a 6 to 7 out of 10 from him most games for what he brings. Off the ball, he is a dog. You know, they used to call him XL Bully Gallagher because he is a dog. He does get around the pitch. I view him more as a replacement for the Basuma Bentancur type that we have in our midfield because, you know, Bentancur over the years has become extremely limited on the ball, whether it's because of injuries, whether it's because of the managers, don't really know. But when you look at him 2 seasons ago compared to now, 2 completely different players. Like you've said there, I think for what Conor Gallagher is, very similar to what Pap Sarr is. They don't really give us enough. Like the technical floor is so low at our team. And that's probably where we struggle. I think in the midfield, we needed better technical players that can get on the ball, move it forward, you know, receive the ball on the half turn. That's the most important thing. We need someone that can receive it on the half turn. Archie Gray is pretty okay at doing that, but he's not good enough. Conor Gallagher is one of the worst people at receiving the ball in half turn. I was just doing a stream with Don like an hour and a half ago, and he was saying I know Don rated Conor Gallagher. So even when he's telling me these things, I know he's saying it with that mindset of he actually likes him. But the one thing he's not going to do is pick the ball up from deep. The one thing he's not going to do is play it through the lines. They're the 2 things that we needed from a midfielder that we wanted to sign this window. So I suppose when we look at it like that, he's not the player any of us wanted. But I think many of us can see some of the positives that we are going to get from him because although he's homegrown as well, I think a lot of people are missing the fact that Brennan Johnson got sold. We needed a homegrown player in order to keep the same amount of squad spaces in Europe because that's just a problem Spurs have had. We've got to get more English players in. Whether you like them or not, it's part of playing in the British League. You need 8 homegrown players in your squad and you need to keep churning out a couple English talents. We don't have that at the moment or we're not giving them the opportunity. So Conor Gallagher is someone that can help us with that. I suppose from the perspective of an upgrade, because like you said there, when you're talking about quality, you're like, do you see him as an upgrade on our midfield? Does he come in and start instantly for you?
Yeah, most likely, yeah, to be honest, because he is better than, but as I said, like he's very much like Sarr for me, but he is better than Sarr, so he does start definitely, and especially with Bergvall and Bentancur being injured, and Sarr still at AFCON because big up Senegal, they reached the final. So there's no reason why he shouldn't start, you know, like he should slot straight into the start. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts against West Ham. You know, like I don't even think there's gonna be any like grace period or like there was with Xavi Simons or anything like that. Nah, you're just gonna be straight in the starting lineup, give us something straight away. And to be fair, like I mean, even when everyone's back, I think Gallagher starts maybe with Polinia or something like that. But then again, we need basically a Spanish midfielder, bro. Like, if we're being honest, whether they're Argentine or as long as they speak Spanish, as their first language, we need a midfielder like that to be next to them, bro. To be honest.
Well, actually, we're saying that, but Bentancur, let's stay away from South America.
Okay, let's go. Let's come back to the motherland, innit? To Europe. Let's come back to Europe. as long as if they're Spanish, yeah, if they have a Spanish passport and they have Spanish nationality and they claim Spain, we should be trying to sign them, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we just need someone who can just, as you said, bro, just play the ball, bro. You know, we need someone who can play the ball, can basically do what Bentancur does, but offensively instead of defensively. Instead of passing it backwards all the time, he pass it forwards. Instead of turning it with his back to the opposition goal, we need him to the front. You know what I'm saying? That's just mirror Bentancur's play. We need someone who does that in it. So, yeah, Gallagher is an upgrade for sure, definitely. But if he's the only midfield signing we make in January, it's a bit of a redundant signing at that point. And with a manager who's in the situation that he's in currently, the last thing he needs, especially if you don't trust Saar, because remember, he started Saar and then benched him and then put him in a different role, and we ain't seen the best of him since. So last thing we need from a manager who's already in hot water is to get another archetype of that same type of player.
You know, the only thing with that, though, because let's be honest, even when we're looking back at it now, because I was rating Saar highly at that time, and I remember having a conversation with Sava in particular where I said, bro, fuck Gallagher. This is in September. Oh, it was during the transfer window because transfer window was still open. And I was like, bro, fuck Gallagher. We've got Saar. Like, Saar's performing. Why do we want Gallagher, bro? Like, they're similar players. Saar's giving us what we need right now. Why go sign him? Looking back at it now, I'm looking at it and I'm going, Saar was good. But let's be real. Saar had like a good, like, not including preseason, he had a good month of football. Like, going in September, then about mid-September, I don't know, he may have had an injury or something. He had like a small back injury or something, I think, because he disappeared
he was out. Games. He was out for like, I think he didn't play for like 1 week, and then
it was like 1 or 2 games, innit? Like a Champions League game.
No, because I ended up checking this when we signed Gallagher. Ironically enough, I did a stream about it. Saar missed 1 game. Like he was on the bench. I think he had a knock, so he didn't play. But he was on the bench. He didn't play. But for a month and a half, I know there's some international breaks in between there. But basically for like a month and a half of Premier League, he got like an average of like 15 minutes per game. It was like 12, 17, 4, and then another 17, something like that. So like he went from playing every game, and then it coincided with Xavi Simons being, because remember he was
that's
starting.
What I was going to say, because he was playing in the 10.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
It coincided with Xavi Simons as well. So, but that's why I say like Gallagher's like, he's like the finished article. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just an upgrade in general because he's a better player than Saar, like in every aspect, but it's the similar profile. But yeah, it coincides with Xavi Simons coming into the team. Saar also picked up a knock, so he didn't play. But for like a month and a half of like the Premier League, he was seeing like next to no minutes. Then he gets thrown on in a different role because obviously we have Xavi Simons now. And like as much as, and again, this is why Saar can't be a consistent starter for us, is like he is very much up and down based on how much he's playing. When Saar was playing, because remember, he was getting like the most of the team was getting enough preseason minutes, and then he came into the season starting as well and playing all these games. I feel like it knocked the confidence out of him, and that's a negative on his mentality, to be fair. But as soon as he didn't get a run in a team like that, I feel like his confidence dropped, and now he's in a different role as well. And you know, it's just he ain't gonna perform. Where I think Gallagher improves that though is that he just has a better mentality. Like at Atletico, he played a different role, didn't get as many minutes, was still a professional, still came on and did what he needed to do. I think we get a better mentality from Gallagher, even if he has to be rested and rotated and he might not see the field like properly or for 4 minutes. I still think he'll have that same level of quality compared to if he was playing 90 minutes, and that's not something we get from Saar in it. So he's still an upgrade in every aspect in that capacity. It's just it's more the profile I'm really looking at, but yeah, he's definitely an upgrade.
The profile is, do you know what it is? I think we needed his profile in the team. It's the timing. That's what I think it is, the timing. If we signed him in the summer and then signed a deep line playmaker, or if we signed a deep line playmaker and then got Conor Gallagher, people would be like, oh yeah, do you know what? This is good. This is good. 2 good signings. That's going to improve us. But where we've signed Conor Gallagher first and he's not the player we need, a lot of us are looking at the signing. It's like, he's not what we wanted, but he's still a player that I think fits in. But when we talk about Saar, just going back to that conversation there, I'll be honest, because I said this going into this season, and I remember having this conversation with you in the summer, but like, Saar hasn't pushed on as much as we've needed him to. He's in his 4th season now. We've got to have that right, because he started off in Conte's 2nd year, you know, and he had I suppose it was his breakout season. He had, I think his first start was in the Champions League against AC Milan. I remember that game, that midfield. I think we drew 0-0 or lost 1-0, but he was really good in that game. and then sort of had a good first year under Ange, scored a couple goals and suffered an injury. Second year looked to improve a little bit, but still last year was a bit very up and down with his performances. This year we was looking to just see a little bit more consistency from him, and he hasn't really made his name. Do you think that with this signing being in mind, and obviously, like I said, we've got a lot of moving parts in midfield because Paulinho are still, they've said that decision is going to be made at the end of the season. I know Mr. Udang put in here and said we might not sign Paulinho and sign a deep line playmaker instead because now I'm not trying to get my hopes up, but I have been seeing a lot of reports about Spurs making inquiries for Wharton. Now, I don't think we get Wharton because other teams will come in and probably take him, but Spurs are definitely looking at that profile. So if we are to bring in Gallagher and not sign Paulinho and we've got some of these moving parts, do you still think that Sarr's going to be... Do you think it's worth giving Sarr more opportunity again later on the season, next season? Because he is getting older. He's 22 now. I've had him since he was like 17, 18, 23, I think, this season. I'm just looking at him. I'm like, bro, if he's not the player that we need by now, we can't rely on him being a depth, or we can't rely on him to get better. Don't you think it's time to move him on?
I get where you're coming from, but one thing I will say is with Sarr, he's going to be one of the final ones to be moved on because Sarr, first of all, is homegrown. He counts as a homegrown player. So one of the reasons we signed Gallagher is because we're down on homegrown players. So he's going to be one of the last midfielders to leave. Second of all, the reason I would say it would be in our interest to keep Sarr is because I also think it's in our interest to keep Paulinho. And when I say that, I'm really just talking about partnerships in the midfield. One thing I will say is a lot of Spurs players, or the last, like, we've had Sarr for like 4 years. I can't really name any like specific players apart from maybe like Tel and Odebear who have like really shown any growth consistently over the last 4 years. Like, apart from, I mean, to be fair, like, I guess Van de Ven a little bit, but the point is that it's not enough from any of the players for us to look at that player and be like, yo, look where he was 4 years ago or 3 years ago, and look where he is now. So I wouldn't even say it's a Pap Sarr problem. I think it's just a problem with A, the management that we've had, B, the lack of direction from the club, and C, the playing styles. I think it's just, in general, we haven't really... I think our pursuit for a trophy post-Poch has really got to a point where we stopped developing players at all. And I don't think there's really been a development thing going on at Spurs. We've kind of just signed players and played them and hoped they got better. So I don't even think it's really a Sarr issue. I would think it's more of like a Tottenham issue. But again, this is why like I was really anticipating Thomas Frank, because obviously like he's known for taking these players and in a system being able to coach them and bring the most out of them, which to be fair, we haven't seen yet. Yeah. But I would think that if we're signing people like Gallagher, yes, he's better than Sarr, he's an upgrade. But one thing I would say is it's important to build relationships between these players. And I know things are like rocky with Romero and Van de Ven and if they're going to stay and all of that. And obviously Vicario and Porro, I know that stuff, those things are rocky. And there's been talks about them not signing contracts and wanting to leave and all of this. But with some players, like for example, if Paulinho will want to be here, Sarr will want to be here, Gallagher will want to be here because he just signed, Bergvall and Gray will want to be here. And then if we sign another midfielder, then obviously they're going to want to be here because they would have just signed. I think it's important that we start building these relationships between players. Like if Thomas Frank says he doesn't want this player, then he should be sold, whether that's Sarr. Yeah. If he says, yo, we've signed Gallagher, I don't need Sarr anymore, then they should sell Sarr. It's no problem. But if Thomas Frank wants Sarr, I think we should keep him because it's important to build these kind of relationships. Like the relationship Van de Ven and Romero have is a reason why they're so good as a centre-back pairing. It's because Van de Ven knows they are, bro. The problem is the midfield. I've been saying this since the start.
I'll be honest. I've started. Go on. You finish first. Go on. Finish. I don't want to.
No, in my opinion, just because I know we'll go back and forth. So I'll save it for then. But like Van de Ven, if you watch Van de Ven play, he's a lot more confident when Romero is next to him than compared to like a Danso. In terms of his aggression, in terms of his attacking ability, that he's just a lot more comfortable because he knows Romero's tendencies and he knows what to do and he can just go. With Danso, he just doesn't have that chemistry with him because he's not playing with him consistently. And this is why I've been like not asking for, but I've wanted to see like established connections. Like for example, as much as we don't like it, Paulinho and Bentancur are an established connection.
He wants them green lines and all, team. That's what he wants. He's trying to get them green lines.
Bro, I need that. I need the the loyalty thing you used to get on FIFA. They have that on the cards and that, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I need certain midfield pairings to have some sort of chemistry between them. So if Gallagher's going to be someone who's always starting, I need to see a Pilinia next to him, or at least someone who's going to be starting with him consistently. And I think Saar just, like, he's already been at the club for a few years. He's played with Bergvall, he's played with Bentancur, you know, so he's played with Pilinia. He's played with
Don't you think, like, if we really want to compete, is Saar the guy? That's the way, like, because my thing is I keep looking at long term. I know we're nowhere near competing for the league, and I'm not talking about competing for the league, but I'm more talking about get back to the level of playing Champions League football regularly.
Yeah,
I don't see Saar being the option in the midfield. Now, obviously, if he's a squad player, I still think he's a good squad option.
I say he's rotational. He's a rotational option.
But the only thing is why I'm saying it is because we know historically we haven't sold great. We keep players for too long. I think that we need to start getting into the habit of just getting rid, like we did. Brennan Johnson's the first time that we've signed a player and sold him within a 2-year period and still received we got good money for him. That was when I look back on that deal now as a whole, I'll be like, do you know what? Brennan Johnson's successful. We brought him at 45, sold him for 35, won a trophy. I'm looking back on this and I'm like, yo, thank you, Brennan. I can look back on Brennan now and be happy about him because it worked out for us as a club. With Saar, I'm like, yo, young, it's going to be 23, could still get a decent money from him. I don't care about the money Spurs get personally, but at the same time, we know what this affects the bottom line and affects our transfer windows. We are going to have to start selling players, and I don't want to get attached to some players that are, let's have it right, bro. They're being good in our worst period as Spurs fans. Like, that's it. They look decent in our worst period as fans. Like, even Saar, I like him. Like, I like him as a person. I like that we've seen him grow. And like you say, he's been here for a few years. He was one of the players I looked at and I was like, yo, I need him. I need him to perform. Because like I say, he's a homegrown player as well. But at the same time, we got to start looking at him and be like, yo, if we can get 35 million, like we did, what we just bought, we bought an upgrade on Saar for that same price. If we can get that price for him, get him gone. Go bring in another player. We got to start doing this no love lost thing because I think
I agree. If we get 35 to 40 mil for Saar, then I'm more than happy to let him go. But I'm just looking at it more of as a rotational option. Can he be part of the team for us to get like top 4 or top 6? And I believe he can, because I know obviously James was in the chat that we have Gallagher now. Gallagher can get injured. I know it's the whole of he's never been injured. Do you know what team we support, bro? Or are you high, bro?
Welcome to Tottenham. You know them.
You know what team you support, right? Like how many people have come to Tottenham and just like that, bro? So and second of all, as well, it's just for things of like even things as like game management. I feel like when it comes to someone like Saar, right? Yes, he's similar to Gallagher, but there are times in a game, where you just need a like for like sub. You know what I'm saying? You just need one. Yeah. You need a like for like sub, or you just need if there's certain times in the game. I know I'm being hella like hypothetical and stuff like that, but there's times when it comes in a game where you just need someone of a similar profile who just needs to come on and carry on what's going on. Saar is that type of person, bro. He'll just come on and do the same shit. Now again, if we get offered 30 million for Saar, I will say sell him. Like I'm not saying he should stay at the club and he's untouchable at all. But for someone as a profile of Saar, we can get someone, if we sell him for 30 million, we can get someone just like Saar for like 10, 15 million. So I'm not saying we have to keep him necessarily. But in terms of just strictly profile, Gallagher can get injured, which, come on, look how many people get injured at Spurs. And second of all, there are times where you need someone like Pap Saar to come on and just help the game out, whether it's to bring energy to a game, whether it's to help swerve a game, whether you need to keep the foot on their neck. You know what I'm saying? Proverbially, of course, because we don't advocate violence. It's all them same things. Like Saar is useful as a rotational option when it comes to playing against. And also, remember, if we're going to be competing for top 4 and all this stuff, we're going to be in full competition more than likely, because we're going to be in some form of European competition. So Saar is not so like shit to where he can't play, in the Carabao, in the FA Cup, in the shitter Champions League games. You know what I'm saying? Against the shitter Premier League teams. Like, Saar's good enough to play in those games. Like, I don't think anyone would disagree with that.
No doubt.
So it's not even a thing of I know my message is a hype man. What's Conor Gallagher? He's the same shit. Gallagher's the same shit, bro. He's English. He's the same shit.
Gallagher is literally the same thing. He's just that English version midfielder, get about like them Gareth Barry type midfielders. But them man actually had tech. He don't really. He's
just a seasoned veteran hype man. You know what I'm
saying?
Yeah,
he is. He literally.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's like iShow Speed versus KSI. It's like one's been doing it longer, but it's the same shit, bro.
Big facts. I can't even lie. But even on this, Kengis, this is a bad idea, by the way. Unless we're playing strictly Premier League football next year, we have no European football, which is highly likely. If we are playing strictly Premier League football, then it probably does make sense to trim our squad down to this level where we only have 4, midfielders in that sense. 3 number 8s, 1 number 6. Probably need another number 6, but I suppose Gray could count in there as a number 6 as well. But 2 6s, 2 8s. But what do you think about Paulinho then? Where are you at with Paulinho in that midfield? Because obviously I don't know about you. I've been up and down with him. Like there's points in the season I'm like, yo, this is why we need him. I watch games. I'm like, and I don't know if you've looked at the stats. I looked in the stats. He's our most progressive passer somehow. The worst player on the ball is our most progressive passer.
Yeah.
But I've watched him in some games. I'm like, yeah, this is why we need him. Leader, you win the ball back. He's the one. Like when he's crunching tackles, I'm like, do you know what? Fuck these man. He's the one player who's playing with his heart on his sleeve. He's out there putting in the work. But then there's some games I'm watching him and he's just a ghost in midfield, running after shadows. That Aston Villa, that first half, these men were atrocious. The way they just played through us. I was watching someone break it down yesterday. Like I was cooking dinner, I was watching a breakdown of why Spurs midfield's about. And it's like these men just stand like statues and let teams pass through the middle of them. You got 2 players here, they pass directly through the middle. 2 passes through the middle. That shouldn't be happening as midfielder. So like I'm very up and down with him. There's times I'm like, yeah, I want him. Times where I don't. Where are you at with Paulinho? Do you think we need to keep him?
110%. Look, one thing I would say about Paulinho, remember the infamous Bournemouth game at the start of the season where I first called Franco fraud, and I had to go on boardroom talks and defend myself. One of the first things I said was, Paulinho, as much as I like him, he can't play against a team that presses us because we will look like shit. And every time Paulinho's on the pitch and we get pressed, we look like shit. We can't break the press. We can't do anything. It's basically like we're playing with like just one line of defense, and it's because he can't do it. And it's not a knock to him. He's just a specialist, which is fine. It'll be if we're dominant in possession, you can get away with having a Paulinho. If it's a team that wants to sit back and we gotta try and break a low blocker sign, it's okay to have Paulinho because he's aggressive. He'll take long shots, which is something that a lot of our team doesn't do, apart from like Chappie Simmons and occasionally Bergvall. He's a force aerially as well, which will help with the corners and set pieces. More than one time, he's been the dominant force in the air. So Paulinho has a lot of benefits. Plus, obviously, it would be 30 million euros. So it's not like it'll be crazily expensive. And basically the same things we say about Gallagher, like Prem proven, all of this stuff, like very specific style of player, will work in a specific system. All of that is applicable to Paulinho. And to be fair, when it comes to Spurs, we do have a lot of specialists. But one thing I do like about Paulinho is more or less, because now that I say it's going to happen to him, but he's been relatively injury free.
Yes,
and that's something we just need. We just need players. We just need players in general, because even players who don't get injured will end up getting injured here. So we just need players in general. And Paulinho is the only one like him at the club. You know what I'm saying? And
only proper ball. Well, I mean, Bentancur's like morphed into him over these last couple months.
He's kind of become he's similar.
Paulinho, bro.
But the difference is Paulinho actually attacks, bro. Bentancur don't attack, bro. Unless it's a set piece, you don't attack. You know what I'm saying? So he can be the ball winner. And to be fair, his defensive number is actually pretty solid. But he could be the ball winner, but he can't be the progressive, even like driving with the ball, or even just being up there. Paulinho is just a lot more up there and will run back, while Bentancur will just kind of sit. So I look at Paulinho and I'm like, we definitely need to keep him. He's someone that, if I'm being honest, there's a reason why he doesn't have many suitors. It's because of how limited he is with the ball at his feet and offensively. But he's someone that is very underrated. I feel like we should keep him. However, there are some games in which we just can't start him. Like, we can't start him.
I mean, Frank has noticed it somewhat, because we saw there was a lot of games. Bentancur had a good run in the team where it was like back to back to back to back, where he was playing Bentancur, and I think he realized playing them two together definitely don't work. But playing Bentancur worked a little bit more, only because he's better on the ball. But even then, we say he's better on the ball. He looks better on the ball because he's got the little flicks and all of these things. Like he can,
He's got a little outside the foot thing.
Yeah, he's Spanish. Like I say, he's got the Spanish thing to him, so he's a little bit better on the ball. But at the same time, he's shit, man. Like I started to accept it, man. I used to really, really like Bentancur, but I just watch him now, and he always makes mistakes in games. He's always giving the ball away. He's like him and Romero have the same trait where they just go out there and do stupid tackles, and I think far too often just can't be relied upon consistently. So yeah, Bentancur definitely.
Bentancur's his passing forward rate is 19%.
What do you mean, like
his successful passes forward?
Oh yeah, it's really low.
It's 19%. Like I can't believe it, bro. And they were trying to tell me he's a better passer of the ball forward than Saar, bro. I can't believe people.
Do you know what it was though? Like if you look at his stats a couple of years ago, he generally was like
he was.
And his first season, he was cold. Like that was the year where he was bagging goals before he got injured, didn't it? That was before he got injured, went to the World Cup.
Pre-injuries,
crazy
by far.
Bro. He was
this season. Oh no,
he's a different player, man. I can't even. Yeah, like and Mr. Udang saying Frank noticed nothing. He can't even notice a big ass Arsenal logo on a cup. I don't even want. You know, I'm beyond even addressing that because that's just
that's the most like. I really thought it was AI on.
I thought it was fake, and at this point, it's like I'm convincing myself it has to be fake. Surely someone can't be that stupid. Like you can't be that dumb to walk around the ground. And have you seen the picture of the guy looking at him? He's just like.
Yeah, it's like, bro, what are you doing? It's like,
what is going on, man? But no, I do hear your sentiment on Paulinho, man. I think I do like agree that when I'm in my positive mood, I'm like, yeah, we need his character in the team, regardless of whether he's going to be a starter or anything. You need his type of player in the squad. I think he'd be happy to just be a part of the squad. You see it every time he scores and shit. The one player who seems so happy to be at Spurs right now, despite being mid-table, he's like loving life because he's got his football
playing, isn't it? Yeah, he's literally just playing, and that's why
you can see it, man. The goals he's scoring, that overhead kick the other day was cold. That was brazy, bro. I was watching that. That reminded me of the Dele Alli goal versus Man United when he brought it down, and I was watching. I was like, yeah. But at the same time, I don't know about you. I didn't celebrate, bro. I watched it, and I was like,
I don't even remember how I celebrated, to be honest, or if I even. I don't know anymore, because I'll be honest, yeah. These watch-alongs are like they're just locked away in a cage in my mind, bro. Because I'm just there. It's like it feels like you're watching yourself do shit. It's like whenever I watch Tottenham, it's like me watching myself stream. I don't have any memories of that shit. I just remember being pissed and saying it was written when Semenyo scored. Because of course he fucking scores.
Same.
Because look at the goal he scored as well. It's like, bro, what the fuck you shooting for, bro? Like, why are you shooting from there? And he just shot.
It's just like one of them load up, just hit it and hope. And
it's one of those. Oh, fuck it shots, isn't it? But that's just what makes me annoyed, isn't it? Because like, look at the goals we have to score. Yeah, look at the types of goals and who has to score them. And then every other team, it don't matter if it's outside the box, inside the box, set piece, link up play, free kick, corner, throw in. It could be anything, yeah. These men will score against us. We have to have our defensive players scoring headers and bicycle kicks and all this bullshit just to fucking. I don't even think we've gotten a penalty yet this season in the Prem. Like, we haven't even got a penalty.
I don't think in the Prem. I was going to say we got one
in the Prem.
We got one in Champions League. We got two.
Yeah, when Richarlison
missed one, and then Xavi scored one.
Xavi scored one. Yeah, because Richarlison's an idiot, bro. He didn't give it to fucking Dane.
That was so dark, because it's probably Dane. He's never going to play Champions League football again. Bless him. He's going to be thinking about that in 20 years' time, bro. When he retires,
he's going to be pissed, bro.
This pussy, I won the penalty. I was going to score in the Champions League for Spurs, and it was all because this guy didn't want to give me the penalty. Yeah, I'm scrapping him. When you have like them older reunions, I'm scrapping him at the reunion when them man they're doing club ambassador shit when they're doing Europa League win. You know what Spurs are like? In 30 years, they're gonna be flying these men out to fucking come to the stadium and talk about this Europa League win, bruv. Like this weren't the worst season of our life, but they're gonna talk about it like it wasn't, bruv. We know how they're gonna flip the script.
Facts.
Well, Mr. Udang, brief fact, look, 73% ball progression, 88% successful.
Yeah, those are sick numbers. That's 19.
How do you get from 73 to 19, bro? Like that is mad. It's
so
like
bad.
The thing is, as well, is like you're trying to calculate it because when I play ball, I'm always looking forward. I'm trying to play. Like, what stops you from passing forward, bro? Like, what is the mental blocking you wanting to play forward?
But I feel like part of it is really just the midfield like tactics of it. But that's what I was saying at the start of the season, and I still believe it now, even though it's like the players on some bullshit, which is fair enough to say. But I really do think it's the coaching, because like even if I look at someone like Bergvall, it's like I wouldn't want to say he's regressed, but he's stagnated. Yes. And I think he's stagnated because of the coaching of the manager, bro. That's what, because like it's the midfield. Like Jords, I was like, when I tell my opinion hasn't changed in 6 months. I've been saying this for 150 plus days, bro. Like, well, not 6 months is a stretch, but my opinion hasn't changed because it looks the exact same as it did back then. But it's like the midfield feels non-existent, and I understand, that we're missing a certain profile. But you're telling me, that every team in the Premier League can function, like every other team can function without, like, obviously, if you want to compete for a league, you need that profile, and if you're a good team, you'll have that profile. But you're telling me that it's impossible to function for 90 minutes without this midfielder. I don't, especially against weaker competition. I don't believe you. Like, I just flat out don't believe you, because it's not like people are really trying to act like finishing 17th is just a normal thing for Spurs, which is insane to me. Like the amount of rationalization they'll do. But I understand, like, we can't compete with top 4 and we can't compete for a Prem and compete for a Chat. I understand all that, because we're relying on like the Pap Sars and the Greys and the Bergvall of right now. But to say that we can't at least win more games than we lose, first of all, in the Premier League, because right now we've lost more than we've won in the Prem. Like, you're telling me this one profile of midfielder, if we had this...
See, I genuinely haven't looked at the table, so I don't even know.
Yeah, we have 8 losses. 8 losses and 7 wins as of right now. Right now, we have 8 losses and 7 wins. And by the way, we've only conceded... At this point last season, we'd conceded, I think, 32 goals. We've conceded 27 now. And that includes when we got pumped 6-3 by Liverpool. So we've only conceded 5 goals less.
And we scored a heck of a lot less.
We've scored 13 goals less. Yeah. And we've conceded 5 less. So I'm just saying, like, I understand the limitations of the players. I fully get that. But for us to be this bad off, just because we're missing one profile of midfielder, for the midfield to basically be non-existent, because like when we play, it feels like, especially when we were playing Pelini and Bentancur, it felt like we were playing like a 7-3, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't even feel like we had any type of midfield. And it's like, you're telling me there's not any type of midfield system to where we can at least have midfielders in the midfield. I don't believe. Like,
he's too pragmatic. That's what it is. He's generally too pragmatic, and that's why we concede. Because I was listening to a podcast as well the other day where they were talking about even Thomas Frank at Brentford conceded a heck of a lot of goals on the edge of the box, and it's not because I know a lot of people look at him and say Vicario's a shit goalkeeper. Vicario has his faults, and he's definitely been at fault for quite a few goals this season. But we concede a lot of goals on the edge of the box because of the midfield drop into the back line to create like a 7-back, like you say. And we just sit on the edge of the box. Yeah, we don't concede. Like, our box defending looks better on the eye because we're clearing everything because there's so many guys in the box. But we leave so much space on the edge of the box. Teams are finding those gaps. And that's why, like Arsenal that day, they fucking cleared us out on the edge of the box. Eze had about 7 chances in the same position, and we just didn't know how to figure it out. It's because he plays so pragmatic and just thinks, if we defend the box, they're not going to score, because he's so focused on the data on the low XG chances, and that's why we don't shoot a lot. That's why our players don't shoot from the edge of the box, because he's always trying to create the high XG chance. But the high XG chance he's looking for comes through, systems and patterns. Arsenal and Manchester City create high XG chances because the way that they attack, and even Arsenal ain't the best at it, but they've got players that thread through balls through the back line. We don't have any players threading through balls through the back line. We don't even have players making runs off of the ball in the final third, and that's one of our biggest issues. The only players, the only bits of the pitch where we had off-ball runs is in the wide areas, and that's never on the left-hand side because Jed Spence just doesn't overlap enough. Only Udogie does, and when he does it really well. Pedro Porro does it on the other side, but once he gets to the overlap, just spams crosses into the first man, and every now and then he'll hit his man, but he's hit the most crosses. He's made the most unsuccessful crosses in the Premier League this season for a reason, because of the way. And I want to blame him, but again, we have to look at the manager. This is all by instruction. I don't think these players, like you were saying, are as bad as we think they are. I think the past 2 managers we've had have coached so poorly that a lot of these players are looking worse than they are, and we're now having to accept this level of what they're at. Bergvall, I'm glad you mentioned that, going back to that, because that's like, somebody put in the chat, I think Mr. Udang might have put it in the chat, in one of my streams this week, but apparently he thinks Odegaard and Bergvall are similar players. That is inherently just the worst statement I've ever heard in my life. If Thomas Frank,
you said Odegaard and Bergvall or similar?
Yeah, apparently Thomas Frank sees them as similar players. I'm somebody's put it in my chat. I'm pretty sure it's Mr. Udang. He will confirm. In what
aspect? Wait, what?
And that's what I've watched, Mr. Udang. I think I saw that. I think I did watch that video. But yeah, he compared Bergvall and Odegaard to be similar players. When we all know Bergvall is a number 8. He's a box-to-box 8. He thinks Bergvall and Odegaard are like-to-like profile. Mr. Udang's put it in my chat enough times, and I've just been bewildered, bro.
To be fair, the amount of times he started Bergvall on the wing, though, it makes sense now. He feels like that. Yeah,
he thinks that he's a number 10 or a player that can play in those forward positions, and he's misprofiling a lot of players at this point. He actually said that. See, look, even he said it. He's actually said.
I didn't know, because I don't watch it. I don't watch the conferences because I feel like they just waffle. Clearly they do, bro. What the fuck was that? What?
These are the problems with him. And like you said, when we brought him in, we were expecting, this is the one bit we thought he would not struggle with, is the coaching. We thought, look, if it's system and stuff, cool, we might struggle there. But coaching, Thomas Frank's a coach, man. He knows how to make these young players better, man. He knows we're not going to have the same problem we had under Ange. We look worse. We look so much worse. And I don't necessarily watch the press conferences, G. I see a lot of quotes. You know, when you're on Twitter, the aggregator's always putting out the quotes and stuff. And then on stream, I'll go through the press conferences and skip through bits because, like I say, he talks a lot of shit. But yeah, man, we have so many problems. The midfield is definitely one of them. But I do want to get onto the defense. Before we do, Binny Guy, big up to you, man. Big up to E, and D. I thought it said J. Who is D? I mean, shout out to D from Fan Zone, but I ain't D. It's Jords over here, isn't it? And the J and D not even next to each other on the keyboard. So I'm looking at him like, bro, is he even trying to...
D for Durag, innit, probably.
Oh, shit. I forget that I'm Durag as well. Man said, I do forget that I'm Durag. Do you know what it is? As you said, 7 wins this season. I've worn my Durag 7 times in 6 months, bro. I don't wear Durags no more. There's no sign of waves. Tottenham, I can't even put a Durag on because I just feel weird wearing a Durag nowadays. I don't wear it for so long. I've done 2 seasons of Durag Diaries with no fucking Durag on, bro, because we lose so much.
Man, never calling them no Durag Diaries and that, bro.
Man, never call me Do Diaries and shit, bro. Man, just all these mad names,
That's a Durag journal and that.
Yeah. I hear it, Binny Guy. There's a lot of politics going on. Me and Eve even spoken about that, but I'll be real, us man stay out of the politics. I'm just here to talk my ball. If man don't want to have politics over fucking football opinions, then do better in life, man. Fuck it. Just do better in life. I'll be real. Surely you've got something to go home to, or just turn off your computer. It's not that deep. I'm not beefing someone over their opinion on Spurs. It's quite frankly just I don't care enough about Spurs myself. But the defense. Obviously, you spoke about Romero there. You think Romero and Van de Ven are a good partnership, but we know we've been seeing the links. Apparently, Van de Ven doesn't want to sign a new contract. I wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. Obviously, made vice captain this season, and to be fair, he's looked a lot better this season, just as a leader, as a defender. Aerially a lot stronger. He's one player we can say he's improved this season, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And you obviously said about Romero looking better next to him, but I don't know about you. Romero's been doing my head in recently. I thought he had a good start to the season, and then this past, I would say month, but when did he's had 2 red cards, hasn't he, this season? He's had 2?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think one for dissent.
No, do you know what it is? He got the red card, and then he got an extra ban from that same red card, I think.
Oh yeah, because I think he had the yellow card suspensions. He had the
yellow card suspensions. Yeah, and then he's got the red card suspension, and then he got an extra suspension for sitting on the sideline chatting rubbish. I I'm just getting tired of Romero. I don't know about you. I rate him highly, but he's too much of a bozo. A lot of the times I'm watching at this defense, and we're saying that the midfield's the problem, but I'm watching I'm watching Romero step out of position and, you know, leave the gap in behind. You know, for that Sunderland goal, for example, I'm just watching Brobby just find so much space behind him so easily that he gives it away. I'm watching in that Bournemouth game when Evan Nilsson scored. Romero is just next to him, watching him. Like, you've got a striker near you and you're not man marking. I don't know about you, but Romero has to go this summer. I don't think we're not gonna progress as a club with Romero in our back line.
That's a hot take, to be fair. You know what it is, right? Romero right now is at his highest selling point value. So when I say that I rate Romero, and I feel some sympathy for him, but that's not me also saying that I wouldn't sell him if we got an offer for him. And that's mainly because I'm just thinking about his value. Like, his value is at its peak right now. And if someone came in for 60, 70 million pounds and said, we want Romero, I have no problem selling them. So I want to preface that. But I actually feel sympathy for the defense in general. And that goes to all the defenders. I know Porro's been shit. You know what I'm saying? I know Romero's had these things. But one thing I've noticed about both of them, to be honest, is, and this isn't even a knock to them, but both of them are very emotional. Romero and Van de Ven, like, you can tell they care, was what I mean. Like, the passion, and I don't even mean emotional as in, like, when your girl says, if I was a worm, would you still love me? I don't mean like that. Just in terms of, like, they care a lot to the point where decisions really affect. Like, remember when the penalty got overturned and that? You know what I'm saying? And Van de Ven was shouting at the ref and he got booked. It's like, it's stuff like that where it's like, okay, he really cares. But the whole point is that because of the way we play, we're relying on the defense to not only sit back here and defend for 90 minutes because of the way we play, but then also Romero is our most progressive passer. Our defenders, Van de Ven is the one running forward and helping break in the lines. Our main creative player is Pedro Porro, who, let's be honest, he hasn't been good creative in terms of creating. Jed Spence, to be fair, obviously he's been a very good defensive fullback. But at points in the season, Jed Spence is inverting and playing like a left 10 and then sprinting back at times. It's like the defense has been, we're relying on them to score our goals. We're relying on them to sit back for 90 minutes, depending on who we play. We're relying on them to be our main creative players, apart from Xavi Simons, or when Xavi Simons doesn't play. We're basically relying on our defense to do the defending, the midfield, and the attack. And it's like, I can see why they get frustrated, because they're so, like, vital. And because of the way we play, we're leaning on them to basically do everything, because our defense is definitely the best part of our squad. And Romero, especially, when we play well as a team and when we're winning, he plays very well. But when we're not playing well and when we're losing, he gets frustrated. And that you can see that in terms of our form. And as our form has dipped, Romero has dipped in terms of performance as well. It's literally the story of how he is, or how his mindset is. When the team isn't doing well, he gets frustrated and does bullshit. But when the team is doing well, he's performing at his best. And that's pretty much how it's been. I guarantee you, if we, let's say we go on like a 5-game winning streak just out of nowhere, Romero is going to be at the center of that. And we're going to be saying Romero has been performing well, because he would be performing well, because that's just how he is. Now, if you want to say that's just not the makings of a leader and all of that stuff, and he shouldn't be captain based on that, I have no problem with that at all, innit? Because maybe that isn't worth being a leader. And again, if an offer comes in, we can sell him. I don't have no problem with selling Romero. No player at this club's untouchable. But that's just how Romero is. And it's annoying because you need your captain to step up when we're not playing well. We need the captain to be like, all right, we're in a shit period. We need to rise up and we need to perform at a certain standard. Romero doesn't do that. But I would argue that no player at the club does that. If the team performs shit, there's not one single player at the club that would be like,
you know, the only thing is, though, we've got to be real. He's been here for 5 years. I think he's our most senior player, barring Ben Davies. Like, when you look around at the squad, he's the one player that's been here for the longest. If he was still young, we signed him at like 22, 23. When he was young and he was up and down, it was fine. But at this point, bro, I'll be real. He's looking like the mixed race Davinson Sanchez, bro. We flamed Davinson Sanchez up for the exact same stuff. Sanchez used to be good in some games, solid defensively, really good on the ball. Sanchez had all of these similar traits to Kuti. The only difference was he actually was a bozo more often. Kuti can perform at a world-class level on some games. But at the same time, what Kuti does bring to us is, like you said, ups and downs. His downs are really down, and he would do stupid things to give away goals. His lapses in concentration is the biggest thing for me. You can't have a centre-back that, just far too many times. I don't know whether he's getting distracted, but he's not focused at the back line. There's too many times when we're having players slip off the back of him. And like you say, when we're looking bad, he's one of the worst players. I don't think that can be your captain. I don't think that can be your leader. I don't think you should have you can have a centre-back in your team like that, but you shouldn't really have that centre-back starting for you week in, week out, being the centre-back you're like, yeah, he's going to carry us through games. You need someone that gives you consistent level of performances, someone who you know you can rely upon. I would rather have someone in the back line who doesn't play with the ball as good as him, but defends a lot better than him. Because ultimately, I need defenders to defend. Just like when people talk about goalkeepers using their feet, like, everybody can cook up on Vicario because he's shit with his feet. But imagine having a goalkeeper that could use his feet but can't use his hands. You're going to be just as pissed. You'll be more pissed off because now man's just dropping the ball and that. Kinski, he can use his feet. He's fuck all with his hands, bro. He doesn't know how to catch the ball. So I need, like Ghost said here, if you're captain, you need to be given a 7 out of 10 every week. Yes, he plays with the passion. Naturally, all South American players have that passion. And because he is captain, even more, you have to have that passion. You lead the team by example with what you give on the pitch. If you're going to go out there and fight everyone on the pitch, everyone on the team's going to do that with you. But if you're not adding that level of performance, you're not calming everyone. That's the problem for me. He doesn't calm everyone down. There's a lot of games, like let's go back to that Chelsea game, yeah? Very clear to see. We were rattled off the off, bro. They rattled our whole team. We needed someone to come into there. It's like, yo, guys, calm down. We've got this. Like, just put in a couple good challenges, pass the ball and be like, yo, let's calm it down, guys. Let's bring it together. We need someone to talk. The guy doesn't even speak English in half of the interviews. Half of the time, he doesn't even want to do the post-match interviews. That, for me, screams like a coward. And you know me, I'm the one that bigs up Romero time. I love Romero. I actually think, for me as a person, like, taken away from him being a Tottenham player, from wanting my club to succeed, as a defender, as a football defender myself, I love Romero. That's the type of player I want to be. Aggressive, cleaning guys out, good on the ball. But his level of performance is too up and down. And plus, I can't even lie, we've got a generational centre-back coming through the rankings. Yeah, man, like, yeah, he's coming through. Vuskovic is coming through, and he's looking like a real bad man. I don't know if man I'm seeing the goal catalogue, man, is clean. And I don't want my centre-back to be only scoring goals. I'm not going to lie. But that the goal catalogue can show you the technique that my man has. I remember he bagged for Tottenham, innit, in pre-season.
Yeah, against Reading. Yeah,
and it wasn't even a bad goal.
Well, goal and an assist as well.
He's a player who, I'll be real, like, we can't afford. We've had so many young players come through over the years that we just don't give the chance. I'm watching Chelsea play 17-year-olds. I watch Arsenal have Max Dowman playing him at 15 years old, and he's tearing man up on the wing. Waneri, Skelly. Why can't Spurs start playing 18-year-olds, bro? If he's good enough, he play him. Vuskovic looks damn good enough. I say go into the season. You got Van der Ven next to him. He's nowhere near as fast as Van der Ven. And I don't know, maybe if it's a free back, he'd probably be more comfortable because he's a young player. Go into next season, give Vuskovic the reins. Say, do you know what, Van der Ven, Vuskovic, that's going to be the partnership. We've got a long term with Vuskovic. He's going to be our centre back over the next 4 or 5 seasons, whatever it is. I say give him the chance, bro. I'll be real.
And the thing is, I don't fully disagree with that. But then the main topic we're talking about is the captaincy. My whole issue was because, like, again,
I've been impressed with Van der Ven captain-wise, though. I've actually liked Van der Ven as captain.
But he's not that much different to Romero as a captain, though. But that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, there's no one in the team, like, the same things you criticize Romero for. Van der Ven does the exact same things. Like, he's not someone who calms people down. If anything, he gets more hyped up, just like Romero. Like, he does.
I've seen games like in the Champions League games when we had no Romero and we needed. I saw Van der Ven speaking to people, calming them down, and like go and speak to the ref and having conversations. Like,
there are isolated incidents, sure, but you can also point to times where he shouted at the ref and got booked for it. Like, That's it.
Yeah.
These things happen with Van de Ven, and his most recent booking was him shouting at the ref, and he got booked for it. So, but that's the thing. It's like, again, Romero as a captain, I fully agree with everything you said, and even with the thing with like Vuskovic playing, but the whole thing of the captaincy is not to say that there's a perfect captain for Tottenham. I think every Tottenham player, I don't think there is a Tottenham player who can take the armband who wouldn't fall into that same category as Romero. I don't think, apart from maybe, ironically enough, fucking Conor Gallagher, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because he's been captain before, bro.
We ain't doing that shit. We're not.
I'm not saying we should. I'm not saying we should. But I'm not saying we should. Yeah, but the whole essence of it is all the players we look to as like captain figures that play. Because you could say like Maddison or someone like that, but Maddison's not going to be playing for the next year. So it's literally just players that played are available. The next in line is Van de Ven. He's not that far off as a captain. And what we expect from the captain, 7 out of 10s every week, is closer to that than Romero. But in terms of the vocal part of it, in terms of keeping his cool, we've seen Van de Ven lose his head enough times this season already. 4 or 5 times we've seen Van de Ven, especially in the Champions League, he loses his head enough times, innit? And like you'll just see him he'll just slide someone just like that, bro. I seen the Champions League, he got a call against him, he was pissed. Next play, yeah, he slid the life out. So he got the ball, it was a clean tackle, don't get me wrong, but he slid the life with intent right there. I'm like, Van de Ven, his head's gone, he's rattled. And I just don't think he has that maturity yet. I think in a few years he will, because you got to remember, he's still like 24, 25.
Because he's played next to Romero for so long, bro. He come into the team as a young man, and Romero has been the one guy like, yeah, you got to copy this one.
I hear that, and to be fair, I seen my man's Twitter, shout out Twisted, but I seen him talk about the Liverpool thing. If he had like a Van Dijk next to him, he'd probably be a bit more calm, innit? But that's just the product of that's just a product of Romero being one of the senior leaders. He has that effect on the team. Now, if we bring in someone who's a lot more calm and composed and he gets the armband, he's going to have that effect on the team. But I don't see anyone right now that's ironically calm and collected by nature who is also one of our best players. I don't see someone like that in the team right now. So I'm all for selling Romero if we get enough money for him. I'm all for, move him on because I love Romero. I think Romero and Van de Ven, I think the midfielder sold us, to be honest, but I still think Romero and Van de Ven want the better Prem partnerships of centre-backs. But if we move him on, we move him on. We get 70 million offer, we can sell him. As you said, we've got Vuskovic coming in. We're still going to have Danso here. Van de Ven, I don't think he'll demand a transfer if he sees we're moving in the right direction. But assuming that he'll be here at least one more year, we'll have Danso and Vuskovic. Danso will be the immediate backup. Vuskovic can slot right in next to Van de Ven, and we can see how he looks in the Premier League. And if he's not quite there yet, we still have Danso to come in, who's a viable option. But then we'd also have to look at potentially.
We'd have to sign someone else anyway. Yeah, well. I think.
Because you see Dragusin's agent, bro, complaining he ain't getting minutes. He just came back from a fucking ACL.
Back from an injury.
Just came back from an ACL.
Ago, you're talking about minutes, bro. He needs to sack his agent because you're not getting a move to a big club with this agent, bro.
Bro, oh my! He reminds me of Mourinho's stories about fucking Lassana Diarra and that, bro. Every time,
I hope nobody ever finds a picture of him because if he's at the Spurs ground, he'll probably get a slap, man. Like, and I ain't inciting violence on him. But he probably would. He just chats so much rubbish, bro. Like the stuff I've been hearing come out of his mouth. Oh, like we wanted when he first joined. Remember, like last year, he was going, wanted to sign for Spurs, but in a few years we've got big aspirations. Want to go to, I think he said Bayern, Inter Milan, or like Real Madrid. Like, get the fuck out of here. Dragusin would be lucky. He'd be lucky to be playing at a mid-table team in La Liga. Like, he might go to Roma. Cool, go send him to Roma and them teams. He's not going to no other league outside of Serie A and playing at a top club. There's no chance. His on-the-ball ability is dreadful. He will only work in Serie A because Serie A is a defensive league. You barely have to touch the ball as a defender unless you're kicking it away or clearing, man. And I forgot we have this Takayu, but he's getting sold, bro. That's a money laundering.
Yeah, he's cash grab, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why he is, man.
We know exactly what that one is. Like the one that actually does look good, and I've been seeing like Yami Hyuk. He's been doing things on loan. He actually looks like he's decent. Now I don't know whether he's going to play for Spurs because obviously Championship, Premier League, the gap is huge.
Yeah.
But he looks like a decent player regardless. Mikey Moore as well. He's looked pretty decent in his last couple months at Rangers, picking up goals, and I've been hearing good things about his loan spell. And I've heard about Viskovic. He's really slow, but I've heard Spurs have gotten working with he's doing personal coach. He's got a personal coach with him out there working in his agility, his pace, and trying to pick up that side of his game. Because I'm not being funny, he's like 6'5", bruv. He's gonna be slow in it. It's only Van der Ven's like a freak of nature. You only get a couple guys that tall that are fast, but then they're injury prone because you're so tall and fast, your body can't keep up with it. I don't think we'll have the same problem with Viskovic. But you say Viskovic needs one more year loan. I mean, if he does, I would loan him to a Premier League club personally. I think if we are going to loan him, don't loan him back to Bundesliga because he clearly is too comfortable in that league. I'd definitely loan him to a Premier League club and see how he does there, so we can watch his development a lot closer. But bringing it back to the transfer window, obviously, you got your signing, bro. And somebody did say Sousa's confirmed. His medical has been completed. We're waiting for the official confirmation from Spurs. But a new left back. We got a new left back, bro.
Get a left back, yeah, we did.
Sousa's in the chat. Darren, tell us about your son, bro. Tell us what your son's saying. I know you're grumpy, but I hope he ain't grumpy like you, man. I need some quality Jogo Bonito because whenever we get the Brazilians, them man are bums. Please tell me this one is a real passport Brazilian. Yeah, he's fresh from the favelas. Yeah? I need a Brazilian from the favelas because all these men that are living uptown, Richarlison, Emerson, Lucas Moura, it's not the one. It's not the one. I need a favelas baller. Let me know if Sousa is that guy. But I don't know what you've seen of him. What you think of it? Tell us your thoughts.
I didn't know he existed till we signed him. No cap. I don't know nothing about, bro. Didn't even know he played for Santos. I don't know. I didn't know he had.
I know you're not going to know him. I mean, research. Like, I've done any research. Anything you like in the research? I'm not. I like that.
I like that he's a left back, bro. No cap. I like that. I like that he's a left back. I'll be honest, yeah. I don't know research on, bro. I'll be honest, bro, because you know what it is, yeah. Like, and the thing I say the same about managers. It's like whatever you did at other clubs, do something for here, bro. You're here now. Do something here, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like we've seen great players come here and flop. We've seen randoms come here and flop. We've seen mid players come here and flop. We've seen great players come and succeed. We've seen random players succeed. Like, it could be anyone. So, to be honest, I could do all the things about like looking at how he succeeds and how he does this and how he does that. At the end of the day, he's young. He's a left back. You know, I'm just hoping he's not injury prone like you, doggy, because the main thing we need is availability. Like, what's the point if he comes Spurs and gets injured straight away? Like, we might as well have not signed a left back at that point. So I'm skeptical mainly because like he's young and he's also like in the Brazilian league. Like, if he costs 15 million, which is fair, but if you could have paid 30 million and got Anthony Robinson, you know what I'm saying? It's like I would have preferred to get a left back that is just a starter, because like I'm getting annoyed with you, doggy, always being injured, and I'm getting more annoyed with Spence as time goes on at left back just because of how one-footed he is. And sometimes that's why Ben Davies started the games, at least that's what Frank said, because he's left-footed, so it's easier with build-up and shit. Obviously, it didn't work because we couldn't build up against Sunderland. But I'm just more annoyed with Udogie as time goes on, mainly because when he plays, it's obvious why he should be playing, but then he's just never playing because he's injured. It's like, that shit is annoying. I actually need a reliable left-back who I can just look at and be like, yo, he's going to be here. So I'm not expecting Sousa to be that guy, at least not straight away, but I'm hoping that he can show some flashes of something, because I'm tired of just signing random players and they don't pan out to anything. At least we got some flash with Bergvall, but I guess we're going to see in it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Mr. Udang said offensively ranks amongst top 3 around his age group, and Benito or SDFC Benny said, I hate this username shit, man. I'm sorry, it's been bugging me out.
Yeah, I hate it too.
I don't know anything about Sousa, but he strikes me as an attacking fullback, so more so than defensive, which will work wonders for Frank. Yeah, that's
He's Brazilian.
Yeah, that's true. But no, from what I've seen of him, because I've watched quite a few compilations and like those every touch, and they're like, oh, every touch in this so and so thing. I've watched quite a few of those shit. He looks okay. I'm not gonna sit here and gas him up. Going forward, yeah, he's pretty clean. He's Brazilian, innit? So he can take his man on 1v1. He looks like one of those players that when they were younger, they was a winger, but probably didn't score enough goals. So he got shifted to fullback, can put a decent cross into the box, but he still looks very nimble. Physically, he's going to get bullied in the Premier League, especially if we're going to try to play him this season. I think he's going to need a long time to really build up into himself, at least 6 to 18 months, I'd say personally, until we actually see him, put on some size, start to grow into himself a little bit more. He's very small still. And defensively, yeah, he's not the best. Like, I think Premier League wingers, when you're coming up against that pace, that power, and I suppose the system and so on as well, it's going to be difficult for him. So he looks okay, innit? I don't think I don't think he has any immediate contribution. I was surprised if he tucked in on in the second half or something like that in a game, just to give us something different at the left back. But yeah, I don't really expect much for a long time from him. And this is probably one of those like Veliz type signings. Like, we sign him, he might not ever play for Spurs, may play a couple games and then get sold. He ranks in the 85th percentile for defensive, but this is compared to look, these are his age group. Under 19 fullbacks, there's not really much to compare to. That's the thing. Like, I don't like the compare, and obviously you got to compare to your age group, but when you're doing a comparison to your age group, and it's you're under 19 or under 20s. Yeah, like, we're playing Premier League football. I don't care about what you're doing against the age group. I care what you're doing against big men, big players. Compare you to the other left backs. He looks like Savio at left back. Yeah, I suppose you could say that he does. He's very similar in that sense. But just before we wrap up, transfer window, what more needs to be done? Sorry, guys, I know we haven't done the Thomas Frank stuff, but I'll be honest, we didn't want to. I've been tired of coming on stream and doing Thomas Frank out shit. We have to do that after every match reaction. I see her talk about Thomas Frank out, bro. Get him out of my club. So D'Souza, I see what you're saying in the chat. Get him the fuck out on all this. Yeah, we all agree. He now eventually agreed. He took a while, but he got round. But I just can't be that guy on stream talking, get the manager out every day. I didn't do it for Ange. I'm not going to do it for Frank. It's boring. So let's talk about solutions. And I did see that. Yeah, he's been sold to City Group's Bahia. So that's good. We got some money back for Veliz. But nice. Rest of the transfer window, what needs to be done?
We need that ball playing midfielder, and we need a right winger, to be honest. One thing I'll say, I've seen Tell wants to play up top. I'm like, bro, Tell, what are we doing here, bro? You've been playing. He's literally played so well at left wing the last few games. It's like, bro, that spot there is yours, man. And I'll be honest, like, I rate Odebear more than Tell, but I would much rather Tell start on the left over Odebear as of right now.
Odebear looks better on the right.
He low-key looks better on the right. I'm not gonna lie.
He actually plays on the right for French under 21s. Like, every time I've seen on France under 21s, he plays on the right. So
low-key, I was gonna say, because like, I'd rather he be a backup at right wing to Kudus. Honestly, I'd rather that, because he just looks a lot more natural there, and like, he looks more willing to shoot. I know he scored against Villa, but just in general, he looks more willing to take a shot on the right because he's automatically on his stronger foot. And Tell just looks really good as a winger, like, especially compared to what he was doing up top and compared to what he was doing last year. Like, he just looks active, and that's something we haven't really seen, because like, as much as Kudus is active, he slows down to speed up. Tell is just get the ball and go. He's just go straight like that. And I know, here's the thing, like, Tell could start up top, but we have Kolo Muani, but Kolo Muani don't score. That's the thing. Like, Kolo Muani, I like Kolo Muani as a football player, like his attributes. But like, if you don't score goals, you're not a good striker. Like, that's just what it is at the end of the day. Like, I can like how you link up play and your positioning and all this shit. But if you don't score, you're not a good striker, and he doesn't score. So it's like, as much as I would love Tell on the wing, Tell's a very direct footballer. Kolo Muani isn't. So it's just thinking, like, Tell will be direct here and get the ball there. Kolo Muani will not be there. He just positionally, he won't be there. Yeah. And it's annoying because that's just going to create a whole more set of problems. Now with Xavi Simons back, I'm hoping that he can kind of be that creative kind of hub. and Colin Mwani can kind of just focus on scoring because we'll have Odebear, Tell, and we'll have Xavi Simons. So I'm hoping we have Solanke, but he's just come back, and I'm not expecting him to just start straight in and play 90 minutes in it. Like Colin Mwani probably start play like 60 minutes, and then he'll come off for Solanke or something like that in it, which is fine. But as Solanke starts to get back into form, but I'm just hoping Colin Mwani can focus on just being that striker, and let everyone else create. Because now you don't have you can't say you have Brendan Johnson on the wing or Bergvall on the wing or no left winger at all, bro. Like, you know, box to box strike is crazy, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just that's fucking crazy. But yeah, Colin Mwani needs to relax on the whole link up thing, innit? He needs to actually just be a striker.
He's a good. Do you know what it is though? It's like you said, man. He actually is a good footballer. Like, I watch him in a lot of games, even. Was it the Aston Villa game where he created the goal? Or was it Bournemouth? It might have been Bournemouth. One of those games, I remember he created the goal from winning it back. Like, in a lot of the actual actions he takes in the game away from goal, when you're outside of the final third, he's putting in work. He's winning it back. He's taking on the man. He's getting us forward with his dribbles. But it's once he gets to that final third, he's just like, he's got nothing to get in front of goal. Like, he doesn't know how to score goals. And this
except when
is
he's playing
when we
PSG.
signed him. I knew it. Like, I knew when we signed him that he's not a natural goal scorer. He had one really good season in the Bundesliga, but as do most players, they have a good season in the Bundesliga because the high line, the spacing behind, if you've got pace, you're going to score goals. But when you're him in the Premier League and you've got to do your trickery thing, he ain't got the link up and he ain't got the positioning. He doesn't make the good runs and so on. So, yeah, like, he's just not a player that we can rely upon. But I personally think we need to focus on a left winger. I think left winger and deep line playmaker. I get the right wing stuff because obviously with Kudus and so on, we've got to have a backup for him. I've seen the links to Akalush, who we looked at in the summer and so on. I think we've got Kulusevski who's coming back on the right. I don't know whether he's going to come back at the same level, but like I said, we can play Odegaard on the right. We've got a few players that can play on the right. And I'm not being funny, Kudus is always going to be our main right winger, so I'm really not focused on signing another backup. I want to sign a starter to our left wing. Now, like you said, I think Tell's been good on the left wing. Like, he's actually he's our best finisher. Like, the best ball striker of the ball we have in the team is him. We saw that with the goal he scored against Bournemouth. Just the natural to cut in. We've seen him do it bare times. The first time he scored it.
He also misses the ball a lot, though. When he hits the ball, sure, but he also misses the ball a lot.
He went through that period. I think, to be honest, I think he did
it against Villa.
No, but like I think he goes through the period of missing the ball because he hasn't played. If he played consistent games, I don't think he would have that problem. To be honest,
I get what you're saying. I get it. It's just funny because like he is the best ball striker, but at the same time he misses.
Yeah, his timing is off, but like I think his timing won't be off when your sharpness is so up in it. Like, he's the one player who we can actually look at and say he has good games, and then Frank will just disappear him out of the team and he won't play. Like, I think he's got like 3 goals in his last 4 starts or something like that. Like, every time he starts recently, he's been managed to get on the score sheet, but Frank just not been giving him the opportunities. And you know, I'm happy to have him play down on that left-hand side until we sign someone, but we need someone on that left-hand side because I'm looking at when Kudus comes back, we've got Xavi in the middle. Yeah, we got Maddison that can come in the middle too, but who's going to be our left winger? We haven't got nobody. And the only other thing I can imagine is that surely the club's not waiting for Mikey Moore to come back because Mikey Moore looks decent. Don't get me wrong. But even then, he don't look like he's going to be ready for Premier League football. He doesn't look like he's going to come back here and be doing things that Kane was doing when he broke through our team. So we can't just be sitting here waiting and not signing players to play ahead of Mikey Moore. We got to go and get someone on that left wing. I've seen links to like Diomande and these guys. See, I personally didn't know Diomande 6 months ago. Nobody really did. When we were in the summer, nobody knew him. He's had a good 6 months of football. I don't want this player. He looks decent from what I've seen, but I still don't want him because he's 6 months of football. I want someone that I know. Like, I know Savio's been shit for 6 months. But I would rather have Savio because I've seen what Savio can do at his best, and I've seen him consistently perform before. This Diomande, I'm like, I don't really know what he's going to bring. Now, obviously, Mr. Udang, I know you watch Bundesliga, so you can let us know your thoughts on him. Is he a player that Spurs should bring in? But I personally would avoid the Bundesliga for players, especially attacking players, because it's gone so wrong for many clubs in the past. So I think we should go and get, go and test PSG's resolve, bro. Try go get Barkler or someone like that. Go get someone of some real quality.
Or some shit.
Yeah, like, we need someone of proper quality to come in. And we need a goal scorer. That's the one thing that's apparent. We know since we lost Kane, we've said we need goal scoring wingers. So we haven't signed any. We signed Brennan Johnson. Yeah, he was goal scoring in some sense, but didn't add nothing to the game. Kudus is not a goal scoring winger. He might score 10 goals in a season if he's lucky, but he's not a goal scoring winger. We need someone who can score at a high level, 10 to 15 goals, whether it's just finishing, whatever it is. He didn't need to be the most complete winger. We just need a goal scorer. So, yeah, I think we got to work on that. Deep line playmaker goes without saying. Obviously, been linked to Alex Garcia, one of the players that Mr. Udang is as well put in here from Leverkusen, who looks pretty good. I personally, Angelo Still is the perfect one in it. I think you go get Stiller, maybe even an Edison from Atlanta. They could be options. That Agume, of course. Agume, we looked at him in the summer, another very good option. But I'm not convinced Spurs go out there and get another midfielder. I think we go big on a winger, because some of the links I've been seeing is Spurs are willing to splash some cash. Obviously, we see this every window, so this is not. I'm not going to be surprised if Spurs don't spend the money, but apparently we're going to go out there and back Thomas Frank in this window and spend upwards of 50 plus million on a winger. So I'd like for it to be someone that's proven in it. Well, let's see. Let's see. We've been linked with Bruggen for goalkeeper. Is that the Brighton goalkeeper?
Keep him away, bro. He is another Kinski, fam. Well, I've heard he's just another goalkeeper who can. But he's the Brighton keeper, yeah. But he's another.
Yeah, it's the Brighton one, isn't it? Yeah.
And that's it, bro. Can't save shit. Allow that. No.
Then Diamande is not for. No, I know it's not 100 million. Diamande is going to be like 60 million, but even though I wouldn't spend 60 million on a player that's had a good 6 months.
He's a fake diamond.
Yildiz or bust. Yeah, see, I have seen links to Yildiz. Obviously, we've seen a few other teams in the market, Arsenal and so on. If Arsenal come in for him, we're just not going to win the race. I can't lie. We can't have that conversation right now. We're going to have to try avoid players that big teams are going to go for, because we're not going to get into that bidding war with them unless we start offering big money. I don't know about you. I was surprised we even beat Aston Villa to Conor Gallagher. I was sat there going, bro, Conor Gallagher's going to Aston Villa, bro. We ain't getting shit.
Oh yeah.
He chose us, man. But yeah, man. Look, people. For now. Smash the likes, show some love. We've got 22 likes, 22 people inside, so I suppose you guys are doing your job. Let me see. I know Luke's going to go live, so I'm going to send you guys over to Luke. Say gin and cola, bar cola is not the answer. I hear you, Prez, but I like Barcola personally. I think he's a top player, bro. If he come to Spurs, he'd be ripping it up on that left wing, especially in the Premier League. Isn't the Pidgey Mawani enough? I'm hearing people want Barcola. No. They're very different players. How are you feeling for this weekend, though? That's one thing I forgot to talk about. I did put that in the title.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we win. It's West Ham. Like, surely we win, right? Like, I mean, we beat them away. Like,
we beat them away. At home, I feel like there's always a slip up. We always slip up.
It can't be West Ham, though. If we lose to West Ham...
See, on my last stream, I said, when I was on the panel shows, I was like, bro, we're beating West Ham. Shut up. Bro, I'm telling you here right now, if we are 2-0 up, I will not be surprised the game ends 2-2, 3-2 to them, man, innit? I'm just saying. I will not be surprised.
I cannot be bothered if we... To be fair, yeah, I'll probably do a watch-along. Bro, I know though, if we lose to West Ham, yeah, it's going to be peak. It's going to be peak. That's all I can say, man.
Yeah. Dark times. Surely we can't, man. We have to beat them, otherwise it's too dark. Yeah. Darkness. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Yeah, I'm ready there. It's super darkness. Hopefully Dr. Tottenham is out for West Ham. Yeah, probably will be after the sun. But yeah, people, 2-0 Spurs as well from Ghosted. Big up. Look, Ghosted still got the confidence somehow, some way. We need someone to have it. We better win, or else I've got to hear this tired ass narrative. The players are rubbish. I don't think the players, the system's rubbish. Some of the players are rubbish. Like,
yeah, some are rubbish. But manager's coaching has been diabolical so far.
Yeah, okay. That's literally it. I must say they already won, but against QPR, yeah. Well, yeah, look, people, we're gonna end it there. It's been a nice, fairly long show. I think it's been one of the longer ones for a while. me and he want to go eat some food and shit. It's getting late, man. It's been a long day.
Yep.
Big up to everyone. I'm gonna send you guys over to Luke, who's just kicked off his show like 10 or 15 minutes ago. So go show some love. Go do a DRD raid up on him. I'm not too sure who he's got on there, but yeah, just go show some of them, man, some love, man, for real. But look, people, God bless, goodbye. I'll probably be back with a stream tomorrow. I'll stream tomorrow. I'll do one in the morning. Look out for that, people. But away from that, yeah, man, God bless, goodbye, have a good day, and